Hello, my beautiful bookish people. Have you noticed some rebranding? I hope you like it. Anyways, my name is Victoria. I am coming to you in my favorite sock form right now, which is in a nice, fuzzy blanket with sparkles on it. Hopefully, my energy in this video is up there. I'm feeling a bit under the weather, still a bit sick, but I wanted to film a video to maybe cheer myself up, so yeah. We're going to be doing the Dilemmas of a Book Nerd tag because that's what people on Twitter wanted to see me do. So I provide what you ask. Question number 1 is about book storage. How do you store and organize your books? Well, I tend to keep my series together and my authors together, but other than that, there isn't a whole lot of rhyme or reason. I do like to do by height when possible, but obviously this kind of breaks the mold. I'm still figuring out what I like to do. I tend to keep my library books off to one side, and this stuff is on my October TBR, so I have not moved that up to my actual TBR shelf. All of these I've read. You might notice that I'm missing some books in series, and that's because I've been watching book sales to try to get a good price on stuff and finish filling out my collection, although this one was definitely a pre-order, and I read it the day it came out. And it's great if you like J. Kristoff, which is just a bunch of snarky writing, and I live for it, so I'm gonna have a whole Kristoff and Kristoff Amy Kaufman section at some point. I'm in the middle of Jamina right now, and then I'll probably move on to Obsidio and then work on this series, maybe? I'm also partway through The Black Prism, and I really, really enjoy Brent Week's writing so far because it's so, I don't know. It's kind of like The Wheel of Time is for me, where it's so intense that you need to take your time and observe all of the world building, but I want to take my sweet time getting through these. And then once I'm done with those, I mean, they gave me an all-black book with black sprayed edges for the 10th anniversary edition of the Night Angel trilogy, so you know I had to get that to satisfy my little goth soul. So yeah, not a whole lot of rhyme or reason other than keep my authors and series together, preferably. Question number 2 has to do with tracking. So how do I keep track of what books I own and what I've read and that sort of thing? Well, to keep track of what I read, I use Goodreads, and I shelve stuff that way to make sure, like, oh, hey, have you heard of this author? Have you read him? I don't know. Let me go check my Goodreads shelves. As far as what books I own, this is my collection so far. And I don't even own all the books on these shelves because 2 of them at the moment are library books. So, yeah. Not hard to keep track of in my head just yet. I might eventually make like a spreadsheet or something so that I know what books I own. That way if somebody like wants to get me a book and they're out and about, they can just like go cross-reference stuff, because I have family members that are just kind of like, hey, do you have XYZ thing? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, and then it just shows up at my doorstep later. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. So I probably need to make one of those lists. But I'm too lazy to do that right now because I know everything I own. Number 3, borrow. Do you lend your books out? Well, nobody's asked me for one of my books, so no, but I would lend them out if I knew someone was going to take really good care of them. I don't have a problem with lending them out. I would definitely want them back, and back in the same condition I lent them out in. But part of the reason that I started a physical collection was so that I could lend my books to my husband and be like, read them please, I want to talk about them with you because they're really good and I know you'll like it. But he's not been in a reading mood lately, so that hasn't gone according to plan yet. Number 4, buying. How do you buy or acquire books? I've definitely attended a few library sales and Barnes & Noble sales, and I have a local bookstore that I briefly checked out where I got this copy of Hans Christian Andersen's Franklin Library collection of his work. That was really cool, but I can't really go in there very often because it's an old musty house. And I have to wear a mask in there, and even with the mask I can't last very long because your girl can't breathe. So if I'm not supporting my local bookstores and stuff, the vast majority of these honestly have come from Amazon, some of which are fulfilled by Amazon, some of which are fulfilled by local shops, because at the end of the day, your girl is on a budget and needs less expensive books. If I have the money one day to where I can buy them like directly from the author and support them like really well, I totally will. But some sale is better than no sale, so yeah. Did I mention I live in the middle of nowhere practically? Amazon's my friend. Number 5, comments. How do you respond to the "how do you read so much" comment? I have no life, so I read. That's how I respond. Number 6, next book. How do you pick your next book? Well, right now, it's by looking at my TBR shelf and picking whatever suits my fancy. Also, I have a ridiculous amount of books on my TBR list on Goodreads, so I can always pick stuff off of there and then see about getting those books either through the library or a good sale. Right now, I have a bunch of books that I really, really want to read. I just haven't had the attention span to read them just yet, so this is it for now. Number 7, travel. How do you pick what books you bring on vacation with you? Well, that's actually kind of easy for me to answer. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be on my Kindle because I don't like to haul a bunch of stuff with me wherever I go, and when I do go places for an extended period of time, I have to worry about my weight limit because of my nebulizer. So, I try to go lightweight with a Kindle. But if I'm in the middle of a series and I'm really enjoying that series and I just can't put it down, then I'll take a physical copy with me. But it's been a long time since I've done that. I usually plan my trips way far out in advance and then just end up using my Kindle or an audiobook. Number 8, annotate. Do you write, highlight, or mark up your books? Unless it's an ARC, probably not. Well, I take that back. I'll mark up a Kindle version, but I have a feeling that this question is directly asking about physical copies of books. I've thought about getting other paperback copies to mark up my books, but like if I want to lend them out, I don't want to lend somebody else my notes. I want them to experience the book on its own. But if I have a series that I really, really want to mark up, I really want to get a physical copy of Harry Potter so that I can mark them up. That's a future goal. I also kind of want to get the white box edition of Twilight, just because I haven't read those since middle/high school, and I kind of want to read them and mark them up. But other than that, I tend not to. Number 9, new or backlist. Which do you prefer? New releases or backlisted books? Well, right now I'm getting caught up on a bunch of series that aren't coming out at the moment, so the majority of mine are backlisted. But I do have 2 authors that I auto-buy for, and those are Victoria/V.E. Schwab and J. Kristoff. So you better bet I'm pre-ordering their books. But other than that, I don't really pre-order much yet. I don't have anything against it though. So if I have a series that I get into that I really want, or I don't know, like if there's something on pre-order and the pre-order sale is pretty good, then and it's already on my TBR from hearing other people talk about the ARC versions, then I don't have a problem pre-ordering. I guess I'm really indifferent on a lot of these questions. Number 10, sequels. Do you read books as they are released or wait until the whole series comes out? Well, I've read a lot of series as they're coming out, so I guess I don't have a problem with waiting. Although I'm not a very patient person, so ideally I would read them once they're all out, but I'm not going to let that stop me from getting the first in a series or join up in a series. I remember in my childhood buying some of the later Harry Potter books as they came out, and Like now, I have books 1 of 2 of the Cassidy Blake series, and I'm collecting the collector's editions of the Shades of Magic series. I didn't find out about them until they were already out, though. Obviously, I've collected the first 2 books in this series, and I have the first book of this, it's a Shadowhunters novel, the Eldest Curses series by Cassandra Clare and Chu. Who are you again? Wesley Chu. I suck at remembering names. This book was okay. I think I gave it 4 stars because I did really like some of the passages. I just wasn't super in the mood for this book when I read it, but I can see times in which I would be really in the mood for it. And I think I'm going to finish getting this one as well. So, no, I definitely do not have a problem with getting series as they're coming out. And that's all of the questions for this Dilemmas of a Book Nerd tag. I was originally tagged by Sasha from The Wild Sasha. She has a really cool backdrop that I'm very jealous of because it's all spooky and stuff. And the tag originator is Lindsay's Little Library. I will leave links to both of them down below in the description box. I'm also going to tag a few booktubers because I feel like it. Also, I haven't watched backlogs of everybody's video libraries yet, so if you've already done this, whoopsies! But I am going to tag Elle Attempts to Read, Booktube Goddess, and Under a TBR. Under a TBR is fairly new out here, and I've been talking to her a lot. I'm really looking forward to seeing her videos and stuff because she's been a really nice internet friend. So far, I've really been enjoying Elle Attempts to Read because, I mean, just go watch her. And then we also have Booktube Goddess, who is, I mean, I didn't know that drag queen booktubers existed, but now that they're in my life, I am so happy. And I need it, and they got Fiddler on the Roof stuck in my head. I didn't even know there was an adaptation for Fiddler on the Roof for H.P. Lovecraft, but there is, and now that I know about it, I need more of it in my life. So, there you go. That's all I got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!